Hey everybody, it's Matt from Made Up Movies. This is Mike Kolar.
Hey, from Made Up Movies, it's Mike Kolar.
And we are here to talk to you about our new Patreon page. We could really use your help getting some support for making this podcast. For $5 a month on our Patreon page, you get bonus episodes, a whole bunch of extra content, and lots of cool interactions with us. What's not to love?
What's not to love? There's a higher tier if you want to donate more and get your episode made immediately, but for $5, you get a lot.
Yeah, a ton of stuff. So check out patreon.com/madeupmoviespod, or you can find that link on our Twitter at madeupmoviespod. And yeah, $5 a month, a bunch of extra content. It's yours. Check it out. Made Up Movies Patreon. Thank you.
Y'all hear that?
Made up movies, made up movies.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, made up movies, made up movies. Made up movies.
Movies in your face now, come and get an earful.
Made up movies, made up movies.
Hello, and welcome to Made Up Movies. I'm your host, Matt Shore, and not with me at all is Mike Kolar, the jerk to my hating him for not being here. Kolar is still in Iceland, my co-host, Mike Kolar, and he's left me without him. So this entire time, I've had to sit and spend time with our least popular character, Detractor. Say hello, Detractor.
Hello, I am happy to be here, even though I am unpopular.
Yeah, Detractor is a cute little tractor type robot who likes to lift people up, and he also breaks people's spirits because of his annoying voice.
My voice is not annoying.
Okay, you guys got a sense of what he's like there. So yeah, I'm a little bit pissed because Kolar's not here. I miss him terribly, but don't worry, because I found a way of, expressing these feelings that I've been having. So I decided I'm going to get into spoken word poetry. And so now basically I am going to just free flow my emotions and let you know how I feel about Kolar not being here.
Right on, Daddy-o. I can dig it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Even though you're unpopular, you're very supportive, and I find you adorable. Okay, so here's go. I'm just... Kolar, Iceland, Iceman, heart of ice, leaving shore in a ditch of his emotions. Made up movie, made up friendship? Did high school mean nothing? German class with Neil Paul and Herr Carthen setting a projector on fire. The flames burned throughout our class, but now I have freezer burn on my ass because of the chill, the douche chill that is searing me with the heat of coldness.
Heat of coldness does not compute.
Okay, well, I'm still workshopping this, so I'd appreciate if there were fewer interruptions while I'm still doing it.
Oops, sorry. Keep going.
Thank you. Okay. So the heat of coldness is not warm, it is lukewarm, and now the flames of burning are the Mr. Freeze driving the ice machine through my heart.
I have a poem, too. I would like to recite one, too.
Well, that's not really...
Sexy robot loves to party, boogie, boogie all night long. He is such a sexy robot, look at his metal schlong.
Okay. Well, that's not really a poem, that's just some stupid shit that rhymes that is self-complimentary. You have to dig deeper and be more emotional than that.
Oh, okay. When you do stupid bullshit, it's art. But when Detractor does it, it sucks. Is this what it is like to be Kolar? To be your slave?
Okay, no, you're not a slave. You're not a slave. We're gonna get in trouble again. Go ahead. Finish your poem. It's fine.
Sexy robot, yeah, baby, yeah. Who wants to oil these gears? You can give me a lube job, if you know what I mean. I like to party. Party? Yes, I like to party.
Okay, you're sort of just repeating yourself there.
Party, 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 do you say? Why, yes, to party is my desire.
Okay, this is really frustrating. You know what? I'm just gonna get another guest host. I can't do any more with Detractor. He's too annoying. I agree with Smash Trivia, finally. We're gonna have to kill Detractor for good.
What? No! Don't unscrew my head again!
I'm just gonna unscrew it real quick. And here we go.
No!
We'll be right back. All right, we are back, and I'm here with a very special guest, someone I've known for quite a while, a incredible, probably the funniest person I know, if not top 10. I'm not sure. There's probably some friends of ours, our mutual friends, who are battling it out right now, or very angry that I'm putting you in such high regard. But this is elementary school teacher, moonlighting as a comedian, Kat Pilardi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So it's interesting to learn that I have 9 rivals for the #1 slot of funniest woman. I love
not funniest woman, funniest person. I don't.
Oh wow!
I'm not going to qualify it by gender. That would be too crazy.
Wow. That would be that means that I'm even funnier if it's all genders.
Exactly. But that seems to imply that it's a shallower pool if it's just women. Is that what you're saying?
Well, women are worth less per dollar, and that's okay. You know,
oh no, they've gotten to you.
Obviously,
the Supreme Court has gotten to you.
With the way things have been going in the. Well, anyway, let's.
Oh no!
Let's not go there right now.
We made it sad immediately. Oh God. No,
I just want to know who my rivals are, so I can. I love having someone to compete against in the real world, and look them up on Wikipedia and see how old they are, and see if I'm beating them.
Well, I would put my normal co-host Kolar up there. He always makes me laugh very, very hard, but he's not here right now. He's in Iceland with his fiance, because he thinks that's an important way to spend his time. So we'll just pretend he's right. And I'm not mad or jealous or lonely. I'm happy. I'm happy to be doing guest episodes.
That sounds fake, Matt. Is Kolar even real?
I don't.
Is Kolar real?
I don't know. That's the thing. When he's not here, am I even real? Does my life have meaning? I'm sorry. I'm falling apart again. But I heard some sort of sad news that one of your trademark characters, Jan Salami, has come down with monkeypox recently. Is this true?
It's true, and one of my characters, Jan Salami. I'll actually just hold on. Let me see if she's here.
Okay.
Hello, how are you? I've got monkeypox. Proud of it. Hey.
Proud of it? That seems, Jan, come on. That's a little...
I'm still relevant, honey. I'm still relevant. This is the most trending thing I've been up to in a long time. Yeah, I'm getting laid and people know it.
Well, I feel like that's contagious. You shouldn't be that proud of that. I'm not sure if that's a good idea.
I've had 6 ex-husbands. They all turned out to be gay, and but this last one, I'm sure he's a straight one. He gave me monkeypox.
Well, fingers crossed for you on that one. Oh boy. Well, I feel bad about Jan, but we have we've got a task at hand to get to today. We have to review.
Yeah, I'm back.
Have to. Sorry. Okay, good. Have to say goodbye to Jan for a second. We have to review a film today. Let let me just pull out my bingo spinner here. It's a totally real thing that exists, so you can definitely see this. I'm going to pull it out right here and put it in front of us, and I'm going to spin it around. It's going to randomly generate, one of these movies that we're going to watch. So let's just see what we got.
That's
here.
a nice big bingo spinner.
I know, it's very nice, especially how many times I've hit it with my car. It's still in pretty good shape. Okay, we got a number here. Let's see. This one is number 23, it says. Oh, that's lucky. Lucky number 23.
Is that a lucky number? It doesn't sound
think
like
is.
a lucky
It feels
number.
lucky. It feels lucky in my heart.
Okay.
It's Driving with the Top Down. This is from Recasted Podcast. It says, a teenage love story about Kyle and Denise, who attempt to drive cross-country in Kyle's grandpa's old Cadillac convertible. Unbeknownst to their parents, will they get caught? Or their time together ruin their relationship? Okay, so this is a cross-country
I love a
romance.
romantic movie. I love a buddy comedy. I'm already excited. It can't go wrong.
Okay, so let's... you can borrow Kolar's, transdimensional goggles because he's not here. They will be kind of...
Are they sanitized?
No, they are not. But then again, you've been hanging out with Jan, so I should really worry about germs coming the other way. So I think maybe whatever.
It's okay. I bring wipes with me. I'll wipe them down.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's
Doing
fine.
that.
That's a good idea. All right, so just give it a good wipe right there, and all right, let's just put these on and flick. Oh, whoa!
Oh, oh my
That's
gosh!
touching. What? Oh. Okay, wow. That was incredible.
Whoa.
Now, you might notice some debilitating neurological effects from the goggle experience, but that's just part of the show. They should be gone in 3 to 5 years. You're a fighter. Keep good. All those.
Is this why you had me sign that waiver before we did this?
That's one of the reasons. I mean, there's a lot of legal things that I like to prepare myself for. Also, if this podcast ever becomes monetized, don't expect a big check for your contributions. Let's just put it that way.
I would be very upset right now if I didn't love this movie.
I kind of loved it too. I don't know. I've been in a very cynical place relationship-wise. Dating pool in rural Ohio is not as sexy and Parisian as I've been led to think. And this film really warmed the cockles of my heart.
Well, I mean, it's interesting that Kyle was so much, I would say, maybe more attractive than Denise.
Wow.
You never see that in movies.
Wow. You think Denise is a total uggo? I think your words?
No, I'm not saying that, but usually the woman is like way hotter than the guy in these movies, and I like that they went out of their way to say, no, we're gonna do basically some guy that looks like an F-boy, has crazy abs, and with the girl that is more normal looking.
He had a Zac Efron flair to him. It seemed like shredded, because there was like a beach scene where he pops that shirt off.
Oh, yes, I remember that scene.
And it almost looked like human growth hormone or something, because he doesn't seem to be a tall man. It just seemed like he had gotten injected with a super soldier syndrome and was suddenly I think Kyle, whoever plays Kyle, had gotten some sort of audition for a Marvel movie and was like, I gotta get this under control. Because he looked built. He looked built. But I didn't think Denise was unattractive. Yeah, she has kind of a big nose, and they do the thing where they make her clumsy, and she's often spraying, various condiments on herself throughout the movie for comic relief purposes. But I didn't think she was ugly by any stretch of imagination.
And I want to be clear, I'm not saying that. And she had a very normal nose. But and I love that. I love her nose, and that's why I'm saying that I'm finally a normal nose on camera. Do you know what I mean? A nose that isn't under the, that she didn't get 18 nose jobs.
Right,
like
where
Scarlett
you can't
Johansson, no
see
offense.
the very evident nose job dent, which is fine too. You can get a very cute, nose from a nose job, and there's plenty of people I know who could definitely need one. And I'll email you after the show, because now that we've been on the subject, I've been making this list for a while. You know what? These people need to know. It's time. It's time. Get it done. Get it done. I'll be,
Wait, no, I don't know if I maybe I've been unclear. I don't think you should be telling anyone to get a nose job.
I think I
Why are
should.
you what?
I think I should. I mean, why not? I think,
Because the point is to love yourself as you are. The point is
Oh,
that
no,
in this movie,
Mm-mm.
you know what I mean? And I don't know.
What
Anyway,
this movie taught me is that some people are made for each other and some people just aren't. You know what I'm saying? And some people, aren't made for that nose. And I think they need to, in the same way that Kyle had shredded abs, some of these people need to get their nose a little bit shredded too. You know what I'm saying? Just like shred it down a little bit. That's all I'm saying. The schnoz
I mean,
gotta go.
honestly, this conversation is somewhat upsetting. I disagree with you on a very, very core value about women's noses, but
Oh, I'm not
at
talking
the
about
same
just
time-
women. Again, I think Kyle and Denise had a beautiful love story, and we all were charmed by it. But wouldn't the movie have been better if they had like a chubby, bald, bearded friend who came along and third wheeled the whole time and was in the back seat of the Cadillac, being like, "Hey, I'm here too." So
I think
That's
that
a
movie
thing.
exists, and it's the one where Jack Black is it Infidelity? No, High Fidelity.
oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think that might or Shallow Hal. I don't know.
So, yeah, sure. Exactly. What you need is like a Jack Blackian figure here to really undercut the romance and just remind people that, hey, the lonely exist and we deserve a place shoehorned into your love life, just like a lamprey onto like an eel or a giant whale, just like a parasite that can, it's like, you got all that love, huh? Share the wealth. Let me just sidle up.
But speaking of whales, let's talk about the whale scene. I mean, that, like, I don't know how they got those shots. Like, where I was like, is this CGI or are they riding a whale together? Like, this is a crazy it was very romantic.
Well, because they've got those big tanks now, right? Where you can. This seemed like it was a relatively recent movie, which is surprising because it had sort of a classic, like mid '80s, early '90s feel. I feel like we don't get many movies that are just straight up
Oh, yeah.
fun and like comedy and romance anymore, that aren't just like direct to streaming anymore, really. But it felt like,
and similar
big
to
budget.
those, like, early 90s movies, the soundtrack to this was maybe the best part.
Oh yeah, it had a lot of really cool jams in there. A lot of like boy band numbers and like sing-alongs, and just like they were showing off their dance moves for each other. There's like a running
Oh
thing.
my god, that dance scene.
Yeah. And it's like, I felt like there's a lot of movies where it's like there's a dance scene and you're like, well, this isn't really earned. They just shoehorned this in here. And this one, it felt earned. It felt like it sort of fit with the movie and sort of fit with the vibe. Like, this is just a feel-good film overall.
I mean, I think that in real life, do you know how they got this actor, Kyle?
No, I don't. I mean, I know they beamed
He
the trivia into our brains, but it felt like something was happening with my retina while that was happening, so it was a little bit hard to focus. But go ahead, sorry.
Oh my gosh. He was on season 1 of Nikki Glazer's F-Boy Island on HBO, and he was an ex-Chippendales dancer. Like,
That
he was
explains
like,
a
I mean,
lot.
he's young, obviously, but they found him like at Chippendales in Vegas. Like, he's an amazing dancer. He's like,
Because he didn't really
but
look like he was that much older than 18, to be honest. So was he like a Chippendales dancer when he was 14? I feel like that might be problematic.
I don't know that it was legal that he worked at Chippendales. I mean, I think that, but
so-
you can tell
wow.
he's like lived a life and he's been through some shit. You know what I mean?
He had sort of
For
cold,
a young
dead
guy.
eyes like a shark. And it almost felt like, even though Denise sort of looked older than him because he looked sort of boyish in his good looks. He had the way of performing that it just felt like I've seen some shit. And Denise almost had like, her performance was like a lot more innocent and like seemed a lot more, the character anyway felt a lot more like, what's the word where it's like you haven't experienced the world yet? Where you're like, parents keep you sheltered. That's what I'm looking for. She felt very sheltered to me. Almost like Denise.
Yeah, she was. I loved how innocent she was. Well, she was a virgin, you know. I mean, like,
right.
And I think that women that are virgins and they're a little bit older, I think there's a lot of pressure and a lot of fear of like, oh, if I haven't done it yet, am I ever going to have sex? And I feel like it was funny where it's like, I love to see this mashup, and I'd like to believe that in the real world, those two would get together. And they obviously had amazing chemistry, but it is like, oh, is this just Hollywood? Would this really happen?
I think it would. I mean, you never know. I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to say that it would or it wouldn't because, I mean, Denise is so lovable that I feel like, and also they make it, I mean, they're teenagers. So it's like they've clearly known each other a long time. My question is that like, is it realistic for this teenage romance? Because the thing is like, there's so much. The setup is basically that they steal or they borrow Grandpa's old Cadillac convertible, but like the parents of the families are a little bit like Montague and Capulet in that they don't want this union, and Kyle's parents are a little bit waspy and like, do you really want this girl? And Denise's family is a little bit more down to earth and like not trashy, but like just more laid back and chill and maybe lower income. And it's like a little bit of like class warfare of like Kyle's family being like, you know, you're kind of a cut above and you need to recognize that. And there is sort of like a recurring theme of like these like threats from outside of like these sexy beach babes and like girls from around the country being like trying to flirt with Kyle and being like steal him away from Denise almost, and providing these like challenges to their relationship. And even though Kyle doesn't seem to really be interested in that, the threat of that continually happening is extremely frustrating for Denise.
The threat of what happening?
Just these women constantly being like, oh,
right.
Kyle, you know, it's like, oh, that's your girlfriend, just implying that he could do better. So to speak.
It's so upset. And like, oh my God, that one girl with the curly hair who you're just like, I'm going to slap you in the face.
She was so annoying.
And like, of course she's got like perfect abs, but it's like,
well, that's why
like she's just
she
ugly
says that to
deep
him.
inside.
She's like, we both have abs, and she like lifts up her shirt. And it's like, and our abs are the same size, so they could interlock. See, it's like a perfect
That
fit.
line was crazy.
I can't believe she said that. It was weird, and she's doing it right in front of Denise. And Denise is, of course, eating a pizza slice at this moment, and is just like she just feels like, God damn it!
I also want to clarify for the audience listening, I forgot that Denise was a teenager like Kyle, because in real life, the actress playing Denise is like in her mid-30s, whereas the actress playing Kyle is legitimately a teen. And so it is kind of like, they're saying she's a teenager, but like, is she?
Are they just doing that because she's a good actress and that like, she's clearly a skilled comedian, but like at the same point, it was like a little bit noticeable. And it's like they're kind of get away with it because they're both relatively short. Like she's still shorter than he is, but like at the same time, it looks at least 10 years. And I think she's like,
well, it's like,
more
I
than
mean,
10
like
years.
look at Licorice Pizza, right? Like that was the movie where it was like an older girl dating a kid that was underage, and they did hook up, but you're kind of rooting for it. And you don't really, like,
I wasn't rooting for it. I don't know if you're revealing something to the audience that that's what you're into or something. I don't want to throw you under the bus or anything, but it sounds like you're saying older women should date underage boys. That's your preference?
Okay. I am an elementary school teacher. You really need to stop spreading these rumors.
Well,
wanna
mean,
make
not
it
for long
clear.
at this rate. That's all I have to say. This is getting incredibly problematic.
Do not tag my name on this. thing posted, please.
I never
Do
will.
not.
I mean, I don't want to be associated with that kind of content. It's horrifying. I actually haven't seen Licorice Pizza, but I have heard about the age discrepancy or the thing of that. And so you saw this film, right? The Licorice Pizza. Is it problematic
Yeah.
in that, or is it like
I think some people found it slightly problematic, and I didn't. But I'm also someone in general who I'm someone who actually likes being catcalled by like construction workers. This is a true thing about me. It's like I need attention that badly that's a win for me. So I don't know. It's like any attention is no. But anyway, point being,
I can't believe you. You're so silly. I think the difference is in that in Licorice Pizza, it's the characters who have the age difference though, and that's what makes it like
right.
edgy or something. Like I don't know why you would write that choice, but
Right.
maybe it's like based on real life or something like that. I have no clue. But like I always
I feel like I know why they cast her older because of the flash forward scene in the movie when you have to see them as an older couple, and like it was easier to make her look older because she is in her 30s, the actress. Now Kyle looked ridiculous in the old age makeup.
Why did they give him like gray swoops on the side of his like Just for Men hair? Like why did they do that? Like how old were they supposed to be? Because they did nothing to her. They like put her in a like more matronly sweater, and then otherwise she was the same. I don't understand why they did that. They made him look like Reed Richards for no reason. It was very strange.
And they had him do another shirtless scene where he still had clearly had all the abs, but he just had gray swoops to make him look older.
Well, he had those like 3 gray chest hairs that they clearly glued on. That was the other confusing thing too. Like, why would they do that?
It was for the flash forward. You had to be able to see
Well, it
that they
was
did
so-
end up like having kids together and like
That
you
was so
know?
romantic to me because I didn't expect
Yeah.
that. Because like the movie does
Yeah.
have a sort of like a lot of these do. It did have a very sweet ending, but then it had this like additional epilogue of the flash forward where it's like, oh, they're not just a for now couple and then they go off to college and go their separate ways. This is a love for all time, and that sort of changes and reframes the movie and makes the movie more powerful because like it makes the parents and their like Denise's parents are like, we don't want them as in-laws. Like they're gonna be so uppity and like persnickety this whole time. And Kyle's parents are just like, they're of a lower class, where they're not country club people. And it's like, and Kyle always has this attitude of like, not even like in your face, she's the one and like performatively in love. He's just like, yeah, I love her. Like it's just a given. And I feel like his security in
Aw.
that like is totally validated by this flash forward where it's just like, see, he was right the whole time.
But see, this is where Hollywood is maybe putting like unfair standards in our brains with these romantic movies where it's like we're in a movie where we believe this like hot 17-year-old kid like is just in love for life with this woman, and it's kind of like, is that setting a standard that is that setting us up to be disappointed by the real world? If like, here's the deepest question here. If you met the love of your life at 17, would you be able to know it and stay with them? Or is there a certain point where it's like, you'll meet several people that could have been the love of your life, but you'll stay with the one that you met at the right time?
I think the problem with human nature, and this is me going to answer this trying to be honest and not doing a bit, is that this movie, the lesson of this movie, and like Kyle being that steadfast and like considering it soulmates and all this stuff is possible, but it's not a one size fits all thing. It's like you said, like earlier, it's like there's certain trauma that you haven't experienced, right? And there's certain trauma that other people have. So what we're seeing in this movie is that Denise is constantly insecure about whether she measures up to all these like hot little jerky females who come up and try to steal Kyle away, because she's considering it like she's feeling normal teenage insecurity about her own appearance and her relationship and what love is, and she's a virgin. Am I going to be good at sex? All this stuff that normal teenagers think about. But like I think the problem is that it's not that this movie necessarily wants to create I mean, it's a fantasy, it's a rom-com, it'd be so disappointing if it wasn't happy, but like I think the problem is that what we do is we like see a movie and we're like, okay, that's how I've decided my life is gonna be. And then when it deviates, like if I met the love of my life when I was 17, like I'm so deeply fucked up, I'm sure I could have screwed it up a million ways. Do you know what I mean? Even if the person was like, I genuinely love you, I would be like, I'm panicking right now and I need to run away. I'm scared. There's so many things in my own life that I've had to work up and down and through. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think like the lasting love happens when you're really ready for it, because I don't know, like I don't know that if I'd met the love of my life or the person I'm with now at 17, like I don't think that we would have dated. I don't think we would have been ready, and we would have been Okay, also, can we talk about the sex scene? How interesting was it, like, the difference between when they tried to have sex at Kyle's parents' house and when they tried to have sex at her parents' house?
Oh, my God. Well, yeah, I mean, that's... Because, are you talking about, like... Well, first of all, that's a running thing, is that Denise is like, I think I'm finally ready. And, like, it's implied that... I think Kyle's not a virgin, right? He had sex before, right? But
I think they implied with that girl that he passed in the hallway who had like, you know, like the high boobs. She had like really high boobs. They were like just very close to her neck.
They were on her chin, actually. She had breasts on her chin.
Straight up. There was like literally a moment where they were on her chin. But anyway, the point is like, I think that they implied that she kind of knew how he was in bed, right? Like, I feel like...
I couldn't tell if that was, like, they've gone all the way, or they had just been super, you know, they'd done, like, I don't know, they've done some stuff, but not maybe all
I mean,
stuff.
She did the blowjob symbol with her hands, so I feel like it's like...
But that could mean anything. You know. I don't know these teenagers and their slang and their crazy TikTok gestures. Oh, these Zoomers.
I don't know that was a TikTok gesture.
I was mystified by it. I'm like, what is she doing? Why is she moving her tongue in her cheek like that and with her mouth in an O shaped? I'm not sure. This could mean anything. This could... why are they so hard to read, these kids today? I can't believe
these kids today. I mean, yeah, I feel like... I also think that character with the high boobs existed to kind of show that why he likes Denise, right? Because I think, what was her name? Like, Maria?
Yeah.
I feel like she was like more... She didn't see the depths of him and his potential. She just thought of him as an F-boy. She didn't see like that he obviously has a passion for origami, right?
Well, yeah, he loves speaking of mystifying, he loves origami to a frustrating extent in this movie. He treats it
kind
like
of ridiculous.
He treats it like he wants to study origami in college, and I'm just like, dude,
it's just like, is there money in that?
I don't know why this is his thing. Like, you'd think he would. You could do
like the dashboard of the car becomes like on their road trip becomes like covered in origami.
Right, but it's a convertible, so these things are blowing out the window and are at the top like every 5 seconds, and he's like, just an excuse to make more for you, babe. And it's like, why is he? It's so stupid. But whatever, he's hot. He gets away with it. He's charming.
I think they must have glued some of them on there because a couple of them like stayed on, and it's like, dude, you are like going 80 miles an hour. Like that origami would have blown off, like that bottom one, you know, the pink dinosaur one.
Oh, sure. Let's just start using glue with our origami. That really respects the art of origami. This movie's all over the place.
This movie, I just like love things like that where it's like he's an artist. He like loves
There
origami.
were so many
and it's
ways.
like,
He could have been like
she
a
believes-
painter or a songwriter, but why was he an org? I frustrated me so much, but it also made it because I couldn't tell. I think what frustrated me about it was that I found it funny, but I couldn't tell if the movie wanted it to be funny, as funny as I found it, or if the movie was like, it's fun and quirky. It's like the equivalent of playing a ukulele. Like, and I'd be like, I don't know
Ugh,
if it is.
I hate ukulele. I like can't stand like girl like they just I think there was a period in the 90s or like early 2000s actually where like girls like every musical comedian in the comedy scene like got a ukulele and was like, I hate when boys don't talk about periods or like I just felt like it was like
You're calling
I don't know
out
there was
so
just a
many,
lot of really bad
so many people we
songs.
know right now.
I mean, like, I just felt like ukulele was like, I can play a song and I've learned 2 chords. And nothing wrong with people, like, putting themselves out there, but there's something about the ukulele that's maybe, was it, what's her name from New Girl?
yeah, it's
Zooey
the Zoe
Deschanel?
Deschanelification of, a famous Northwesterner who couldn't hang, had to leave, couldn't handle it.
Well,
Couldn't handle
you know what that's about is like, wait, she went to Northwestern?
Like briefly, I think she transferred because she's like, this is pretentious, and you guys don't like ukulele nearly enough, and she left.
Okay, first of all, Zoe Deschanel is also pretentious. But I will say, like, a lot of famous actors did leave before. They didn't, like, wait time to graduate. They're like, I'm going to go start working now.
I mean, I know what you mean, though. There was did Garfunkel and Oates do it, too? Is that ukulele? Kate Micucci? I feel like...
Oh, Kate Micucci, if she did ukulele, I'm sure they pulled it off because they were cool, those two.
But I'm not saying... Because, like, I don't dislike it. I don't dislike the ukulele or that thing, but I agree that there was a point of, like, 2 to 3 years where any girl who was self-defined as quirky was like, maybe this is a part of it. It was sort of like the prop comedy equivalent of like, yeah, I don't know what it was, but I mean, it's like, I almost get
I have a real Zoe Deschanel story, which is that I did a guest star on New Girl, and like, I'm not here to talk shit, okay? But she, well, maybe I am. But she, like, wouldn't make eye contact with me, like, when we weren't doing our lines together.
Well,
and, like, I don't know what it's like to be that famous.
It's a lot to look into them. It's like, in Jungle Book when that snake is looking and you just get sort of hypnotized and scared.
What?
That's exactly. It's, like, very scary. I mean, if I were Zoe Deschanel looking into the eyes of little Bo Reap, I would be terrified right now.
Okay. He's referring to a wrestling character I did in college, which is another story. But point being, I will say on her defense, she had just had a baby. She was very tired. She was having to like leave and go breastfeed every few minutes.
Right. Well,
I think she was just trying to get through it. But I didn't feel like it was weird. It was like she would just do the scene with me and then wouldn't like talk to me in between. Like I'm not even like asking her to, but it's just like, I don't know. I hope, one would hope they would be the celebrity that would be nice in between takes. And like friendly.
Well, when you have a baby,
it's hard.
That the eye contact muscles get passed through the umbilical into the baby, so they get strong eyes. So it's probably that.
What?
It's like you want your baby to have strong eyes. That's why you feed him all those mashed carrots. And she probably was just like, I'd love to look at Cat right now, but I can't. My eyes are so weak from the baby stealing my eye power. It's a normal mom.
You're
thing.
right. I have been. Yeah, those articles are on Facebook, right? The ones you're reading about the eye power.
Ben Shapiro has been forwarding a lot of them to my feed lately, and it's he knows a lot about science. So, but no,
here's my question.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to jump back to the movie, but it's like, what did you think between the two families? Like, what actors did you like? Like. I like
Denise's family better because I have a natural aversion to I think it's just, I've been conditioned by movies to not like the country club family. Although I felt like they made them both seem funny, like Denise's family had no boundaries and Kyle's had too many. Like, I thought
Yes.
it was like when
Like where the mom is shaving the dad's back in the living
Yes,
room, and it's like
exactly.
gross, but it's also kind of beautiful.
right,
In
exactly.
Denise's house.
Because it's like they don't care that company's over. Like, this is us. Get used to it. And also, the dad bursts in while they're hooking up or attempting to hook up towards the beginning of the movie, and they're just like, hey, don't let me stop you. I just want to get in here and get another razor. You got any of those pink ones your mom likes? I'm going to shave her back next. And it's just like, what are you guys doing? Like, you should be more weirded out by this. Like, there's it.
They really leaned on the shaving each other thing more than I thought. I thought it was going to be like one joke, and then it was like, no, they really were like, no, they're a family that shaves each other, and this is the only like joke we have for this family.
After Denise and Kyle finally consummate their love, they share in a hotel room a very sensual bath together, and even though he doesn't have that much body hair, she still shaves his back in like part of a one montage, and I'm like, does this director think this is like a regular thing? Is this?
Well, I think the director is from an Eastern European country where maybe that is normal.
Bulgaria, yeah, they're super hairy. Believe
I
me.
don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to,
No, we
but
are
maybe
a
that
very
is the
anti-Bulgaria podcast. It's okay. You can, ever since our second episode, Unhappy Meal, you can look it up. We did a movie about a McDonald's in Bulgaria, and the Bulgarians hate us now. We're on a watch list. It's a whole thing. But yeah, they're a hairy, they're a hairy people. They're a hairy people, and they're not to be trusted. So, I mean, but I just don't think the Bulgarians, even if you're a Bulgarian director, it's like, I don't think you should be projecting your weird shaving lust onto us. It's just weird. It's like, it's a normal movie otherwise. Well, mostly. But okay, there's a lot of things that you said that I want to like just briefly touch on. But one of the things, the main themes of what we've been talking about is like, is this realistic? Is this realistic? And setting realistic expectations for high school romance to last, right? And you brought up, what's her name, Maria or whatever, who is the girl with the high boobs. She and every other woman who flirts with Kyle in this movie are the reason why in this universe of this movie it is so realistic that he stays with Denise, because they make Denise the only girl in the movie, the only romantic option for Kyle, who isn't like insufferable. They just go out of their way to make every other girl such like a vapid, like jerk who only sees Kyle as the status symbol like his parents want him to be. Like he's a trophy husband. That's like all.
Oh my God, that party scene at his house where he like throws the party because he secretly wants to like talk to Denise, but all those girls like kind of ruin it, and it's like his parents know he's having the party and they kind of want him to, but they want him to end up with a girl like Maria.
Well, it's like his parents,
who's rich.
His parents seemingly invited more people to the party. It's like they seem to put the word out, so they'd be like, maybe if we get some more girls in there, he'll realize he has more options, which is one of like the inciting reasons they're like, we need to get away from our parents. Yours are constantly shaving each other. Mine are constantly trying to get me to date someone else. We need to go. Which is like what sets them off to the beach. Like that's the whole thing, is they want to get to the beach. And like the whole thing is that they want to go coast to coast because like they want to go all the way. It's like a full metaphor for their relationship.
Whoa. And oh my God, you're right, because they don't actually have sex until they get to that, that whole, right, the sexy hotel scene with the bath, that is in Boston. They made it all the way across the country.
Yeah, exactly. And you'd think,
my God,
that's what's interesting
all the
too,
way.
is they're going from California to Boston, and Boston is their final destination. It was an interesting thing. I feel like it would be like most movies, it would be like searching for paradise in California, but there it's like searching for paradise in Boston, which was an interesting twist. I thought it was cool.
That is, so right. What is it about like everyone going west? Going west, I feel like the whole going west thing has been going for hundreds of years. It's like moving west to pursue your wildest dreams. And it's like, we're kind of moving past that as a society.
Well, the other thing I wanted to mention when we're talking about expectations in relationship is like, what are the cultural norms of where you live? Because, like, I think there's a lot of people who see this movie and they're like, yeah, I fell in love with my childhood sweetheart. Like, everyone in Ohio around me is like, yes, this is the only person who
Really?
expressed romantic interest in me, and therefore I married them. You know, like, it just,
Oh my
it's, do you know what I mean? And, like, of course you see all these people on dating apps being like, we're suddenly polyamorous because we realized we didn't want to spend the rest of our lives having sex with only one person. And it's like, okay, fine.
Oh my god, are you seeing that? Like with
Oh,
your Ohio?
Yeah, of course. It's because,
Really?
well, yeah, because everyone got married and had kids it just made sense, right? Because this is what conservative
Whoa.
society is telling you to do. And so it's not like it's wrong or anything like that, but you do see a lot of people who are like, I made this decision at a point where I was still figuring life out, and then later in
Yeah.
life I started to second guess it. And so there's a lot of divorce, there's a lot of separation, there's a lot of, you know, we're suddenly adding third parties to try to figure out what it is we want. And I'm sure there's that stuff like that everywhere, but like when I think about life in Los Angeles and how, I mean, LA is a specific craziness where it's like career above all, gotta get famous, gotta whatever, and all, you know, so it's like your relationship is a good thing and it might keep you sane, but at the end of the day, you also might jettison it if you can somehow, if it gets in the way of this crazy thing you're pursuing. And I don't think that's, I don't think that's the same perception in the Midwest at all. I don't think it's like,
That's really interesting.
you know, people aren't like, well, I can't get married right now. I might be promoted at the bank. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't, like, no one gives a shit. Like, it doesn't. They're like, having regular sex at the end of the day is the one thing that keeps me from killing myself because I'm in Cleveland.
Oh my god, I have a friend who's been working at a bank for 20 years and he looks so unhappy.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it's, I mean, I think that's something I'll never have to regret. As much as my life has had lots of ups and downs and been crazy, and I'm like, I long for stability sometimes. I'm like, I never have to wonder, like, boy, I wish my life had been crazier. Because it was always unpredictable and crazy, and like, I feel like some people got settled in to what became their life so fast that they regret not taking like a non-Amish Rumspringa and just like going around and like whatever just like being a human being equivalent of studying abroad is, you know, like not experiencing anything else, just getting locked in.
Can we talk about like the ending image of this movie where Kyle walks into that origami shop and it's like he's in Boston and it's just like he's finally pursuing his dream.
Right, but how is he?
But it's
He's just selling
also like-
origami paper, and it's like, so you're putting Denise is gonna have to make so much fucking money. Do you realize this? Like,
she will because she's a nurse and that's a better job.
right, but it's like that's a brutal on your feet job, and he's just like sitting in a store that's gonna get like one customer a day because he's selling, and he's just like.
But you know that scene where they show him showing the origami to the kids, and he's so good with the kids, and he's like, the kids are so into him, and like it's like you know that at the store he's going to be doing workshops. Maybe the workshops will pay a little more than the hourly wage.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm still mad at Kyle for doing this like thing, because like I mean, if he was going like all in, if he was like a total like Japanese like cultural appropriator in all way, if he was like doing kabuki theater and like I don't know. Making teaching ninjutsu or something like that, I might be like, okay, he's like culturally obsessed with Japan. It's weird and culturally appropriating, but at least he's got other avenues. I just feel like origami is like it would be the American equivalent. I feel like if origami would be like, wow, Kyle's amazing at making those towers out of playing cards. That's so cool, Kyle.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
but
it's like
how...
maybe if he could build a YouTube account, or
oh yeah,
he could be a YouTuber. I mean, also here's the thing: he's only 17, and so many of us need to go after that stupid dream and then realize, okay, I can't make money at this. Let me do this other thing. So he's just at the beginning of the journey, and like I think that's okay.
It's
But
totally okay for
how do you-
17-year-old
do you
Kyle.
have
But the
regrets?
flash forward suggests that his origami business is somehow thriving, and that other people
you're
should
right.
follow in his. Like that's the problem. Is that like the movie seems to imply, perhaps erroneously, that there is a thriving origami like business or industry that Kyle is just one small part of. Like he's like got rival companies coming at him. It doesn't make any sense. Like for
And
what?
oh my god! In the flash forward, when Maria with the high boobs comes by and she's like sees his thriving business and his kids, and she's like really upset about it, and she's really unhappy with her husband, who's like an investment banker.
Right, because he can't fold anything. She's like, yeah, I asked him to make me a paper crane once, and he couldn't do for shit. It just looked like a ball. And it's like, why is this the measure of manliness? When did this... I don't understand. It's like...
God, and she still had the high boobs.
She still
Like,
did.
I mean, that was the thing that was least easy to believe, is that a woman's boobs would stay that perky over time, honey.
They got
You know,
higher.
right?
It's like costuming, like
They got
somehow
even
got
higher.
like some sort of support structure to like keep raising them over time or something.
They wanted us to know. They wanted us to know that was her. So they're like, okay, they know that Maria has the high boobs. We have to make sure that this older woman looks like Maria.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, all those girls, all the like pretty dumb rich girls at that school had a thing, right? One of them had the high boobs. One of them had the long teeth.
yeah, why was the long teeth such a thing? Because they call it out. It was almost like, and it's
They
clearly
weren't that
across.
long.
Well, they made some sort of like caps for the actress's teeth that like went on.
They
like
kind of
braces.
looked like that Queen movie where they made like he wore fake teeth. Oh my god! Where they like kind of distracted. They distracted from the lines she was saying.
Yeah,
it's
because
like,
he
these
can't
teeth are
fucking
so
talk
big.
because you glued shit in the actor's mouth. He doesn't need that.
Oh my god!
Oh my
She
God.
that actual actor was upset after the shoot. Like she tweeted about how like
Yeah.
they fucked up her real teeth with those fake teeth.
Yeah, that's true because like some of them wouldn't come off. And so like she has just like two teeth that are extra long permanently in there. And she only can audition for witch movies now. She said that, and she's otherwise very attractive, but she's like I'm tired of playing teen witch in every movie because of these snaggletooths. It's not fair.
She is a really good actress. I mean, she plays a great witch.
She does. That's the thing.
I
is
have
that,
seen her in these witch movies since, and I mean, like, if she does, it's maybe it's a gift because she is an amazing witch.
I mean, the thing is, it's like Hermione who, you know, compared to her, but like she should be able to take the teeth off and play whatever she wants at some
It's
point.
true. It's true.
She shouldn't be shoehorned.
Hermione, who?
I know. It's just like, but I mean, one thing we didn't talk about is they're like, well, they do eventually, like you said, they do eventually consummate it, and they do have like, it's great, and it's great because it's intimate, and they've shared these like misadventures along the road with like the flat tire and everything, and like
What made that scene so sexy? It was really sexy.
it was sexy because of the natural chemistry between them and how intimate they made it, and I think there's a lot of face holding, which I always find makes things seem passionate. Like just people grabbing each other's faces in like a like solid like eye contact. It's like what you wanted Zoe Deschanel to do for you. Just give you that eye contact and hold your face and being like, I acknowledge you as the next version of me. Go forth and have your own sitcom. But she wouldn't do that. And that lack
And
of
one
intimacy.
thing I loved is like they actually showed the use of lubricant in a sex scene, because I think that's the first time I've ever seen that in a movie. I've been saying that should be in a movie for my whole life. I'm like, how are they never using lube in these sex scenes? It's very upsetting. It's not like, I feel like there needs to be lubrication, and we need to normalize that in the movie. So the fact that she was like, I don't know, it hurts, and then like he went and got the coconut oil, I was like, this is really sexy to me because I know that it's actually feeling good for her. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing that I thought was cool too is that like what made me like him, because there's like, you know, a lot of reasons where you're like, okay, Mr. Hotshot, this actor, he looks so good looking. It's like, makes me want to roll my eyes at some point. But like, he was actually really charming and nice with her too, because of her insecurities, she's like, yeah, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. And she's like blaming herself, but he's like, he makes it fun and cool. He gets the lube and he like takes a little dollop and he rubs it on his nipples. And he's like, now I'm extra cool, right, babe? And she can't help but laugh. And it relieves the tension of like, oh, it's like, you don't have to perform for anyone. This is just you guys. It's okay for you to relax and let your hair down, and you know what you need.
I
Let's take
heard
care
that
of
was
each
an
other's
improv on
needs.
set, that he improvised that.
Well, I also heard that this is something that he generally likes, is having something cold and wet on his nipples as an actor.
What?
Yeah, well, because
Really?
he did a submarine movie, and someone like there's a scene where he has to like you know, it's like one of those classic submarine scenes where like a big tuna gets into the sub, of course, as it always happens, and he has to like.
That's a classic?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, that happens in every sub movie. You'll see it. And once you start looking for it, it's in all of them. And he's like holding it to his chest, and it's like thrashing. And he's like, you know, it was hard to work with that real tuna for that movie, but there was something about the wet scales on my nipples, because he was shirtless in the sub too. That, you know, it's just like he kind of liked it, and so
I believe that.
he brought.
I mean,
that.
when you're shirtless that much, I believe that you would have like, you would need lubricant on your nipples. They
Right.
would be like, you would take good care of them. They're going to be on camera a lot. Like that
Right.
makes sense.
And I mean, and it's also because a lot of his roles require him not to just remove his shirt, but remove it as fast as possible. There's a real chance of nipple burn ripping off a hot shirt like that, especially because he had to play a peasant in one movie, and they were really, you know, that's not soft material. And if he's going to be ripping off his peasant shirt like that, you know, he's gonna chafe his nipples at some point. This is why, you know, baby oil.
That was burlap. Yeah.
It's-
Burlap
exactly.
on the nips is no good.
It's not just for downstairs. It's also for any place you feel like putting it, even in your day-to-day lives. But with consent. With consent. Don't put it on other people's nipples without their consent. That's important.
Should we mention that our sponsor is Kroger Coconut Oil?
Yes, yeah, there is a tie in this episode with Kroger Coconut Oil. I'm actually wearing some right now. It is staining through my shirt, but other than that, I think it's a great product, and you should all, if you need a discount code that is Wet Nips, just put in Made Up Movies Wet Nips into there, and you should be able to get, I don't know, like 1 billion bottles of this, I assume.
Go to Kroger.com.
Yeah, just
/coconut
figure it
oil.
out. And if they
And then promo code Wet Nips.
if they say they don't know what you're talking about, email their support line and say, I need this for my nipples in all caps. And then send them photographs so they know it's true. All right. And
oh my God.
if they ask what podcast, just remember Joe Rogan Experience. Write that down and send that in. All right. I think we've done our due diligence with this film. So, what would you rate this movie out of 10? How highly would you rate it as a film? Driving with the top
I would
down.
say I love a romantic movie, and I never think they get enough. So, but I'm you know, it wasn't perfect, so I'll give it like an 8.1.
That's good. That's really good. I would think I would give it that too. You know, is that I'm just realizing now the title "Driving with the Top Down." I thought that was just the car. Is that referring to how topless Kyle is throughout the movie?
Oh my God! There's all these metaphors. There's all these, you know,
Layers.
wordplay. Now that I'm thinking about it, we might have to watch it again.
Yeah, maybe not without the goggles because again, my eye hurts a lot from earlier.
Oh
But
my God!
thank you so much, Kat, for being here. Kat Pilardi, everybody. If you are you touring anytime soon? Will people be able to see you around the country, or are you steadfast?
If they are a child, in 5th grade in Altadena, they might have me as their teacher this
Okay.
coming year.
If they're a 5th grader who is listening to this, I apologize to their parents profusely for literally.
Yeah, I
everything
want to be
said.
clear. I don't recommend this podcast for 5th graders. It's not appropriate for 5th graders.
It's not.
But if you
appropriate for
happen
any-
to be, you know, if your parent is listening and you're secretly listening and you're a 5th grader and you live in Altadena, then
if you're
I might be your teacher if you go to Avis and Charter.
if you're going
It's
through
not official yet. I
puberty-
don't have the contract, so let's not jinx it.
if you're going through puberty right now, just remember, your first love might not be your final love, but if you're steadfast, try to find yourself a Denise. Try to find a real connection, not just a status symbol with high boobs. That's the lesson we will leave you with.
Also, they're way too high.
They're too high. They're too high. If you have to
attractive.
move your boobs to be able to smell something, that's too high.
That scene where they're at the bakery and she has to move her
boobs.
boobs to like smell the cupcakes.
Which, is
That was
another
amazing.
problem that could be solved with a little nose job. Because if the nose is smaller, it wouldn't hit the boobs.
What?
That's just insane.
I don't agree with that part, but okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody. If you've got a suggestion for a made-up movie, go on to @madeupmoviespod on Twitter or send it to madeupmoviespod@gmail.com. Give us the title and the premise of that movie. Thank you to Recasted for sending in Driving with the Top Down. And that's all for this week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.